application, Ms. Quaylen, please.
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm just going to read a very short excerpt from a book. It's called Emergent Strategy by Adrienne Maree Brown, and it's just a short excerpt that resonated with me. I am living a life I don't regret, a life that will resonate with my ancestors, and with as many generations forward as I can imagine. I am attending to the crises of my time with my best self. I am of communities that are doing our collective best to honor our ancestors and all humans to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Quaylen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before the roll call, I just want to announce that Superintendent Jane Harbert is not present today. She had a death in her immediate family this morning and has left the state to be with family. There's a seat right up front. Okay, roll call, Mr. Cuff?
Okay. Ms. Boykins? Mrs. Fitty?
Here.
Mr. Hobbs?
Present.
Mrs. Hopkins?
Here.
Mrs. Quaylen?
Here.
Mrs. Phillips?
Here.
Ms. Richardson? Mr. Wright? Here. Ms. Hall?
Present.
Ms. Summerlin? Ms. Stewart?
Here.
Ms. Tong?
Here.
You have a full complement of board members and student representatives.
Great, thanks everyone for being here this evening. Board report. Good news from the William Penn School District. Kindergarten registration is March 4th to the 29th. Appointment is required, so please call ASAP. The phone number is there. You can also check out the registration tab on our district website. Please register your children early. August is not good. Thank you. Congratulations to John Mabin and Ashley Travanino on being the Rotary Club January Students of the Month. I've told anyone that's asked me, and even folks that haven't asked me, these are the most happy, pleasant, smart students some of the most that I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. They are amazing young folks. So congratulations, guys. You want to learn how to advocate for our children? They're on Saturday, February 2nd, 8:45 till noon. PA School Works is having a conference training session. It's free. It's at Delaware County Intermediate Unit. Please come if you can. It is sponsored by PCCY. If you would like to register, just go on Facebook or Google them and you can register, and don't worry about not registering. Just show up if you want to learn to advocate for our children. Penwood High School Theater Club presents Rent, the school edition, Thursday, February 7th, Friday, February 8th, and Saturday, February 9th at 3 and 7 p.m. This version is for 13 years old and up, so be mindful, not appropriate for little children. Teachers of the Month, Mr. Kramer and Mr. Karanja. And Mr. Poplowski and Jason Pardini in December. So congratulations, gentlemen. Thanks for all you do. Delaware County Community's 12th Annual STEM Career Night is Thursday, February 22nd. Please register if you like. Mr. Wright and I have been the last couple of years. It's an amazing event. So please attend if that does it for you and your child. The next listening session is at East Lansdowne, February 4th at East Lansdowne Elementary School, 7 to 9 p.m. Anyone is welcome from any part of our community, not of our community, so please come and you talk, we listen. Alden Elementary got 3 new benches in this weekend as a Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. Congratulations to them. We love the benches. A lot of good work going on, so congratulations all of them. Penwood Codathon, I'm going to gush for a second. I had the distinct pleasure of being with 32 of our students from Friday at 3:30 p.m. till Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Yes, a 51-hour lock-in with some outstanding children. It is made possible by We Connect the Dots, the Penwood Foundation, and our school district. They were amazing. They learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript. They worked with people that they haven't worked with before. If anyone's interested, just drop me a note and I can send you the websites they did. Spectacular work, just spectacular work. Here is that gentleman with the beard is John Wargo. He is a big player at Microsoft, and he flew in from North Carolina to be with us for most of the weekend. Another shot of all of us at the library. There's Mr. Harris, who helps us all the time. You can recognize those other faces. And that was all, but great stuff. Walnut Elementary, Philadelphia, celebrated the Philadelphia Eagles, and congratulations to them for showing some spirit for our team. Penwood Athletics is in full blown. Track, wrestling, basketball, girls and boys. Check Arbiter Live for the schedules and head to a game. It's a lot of entertainment for $5. No school Wednesday, January 3rd. It's an in-service day. Do not send your children. And if you need me, there's my email, or give me a call. It is my pleasure to serve you. Thank you. Perfect. No superintendent's reports because we don't have a superintendent, obviously. Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Hearing none, thank you. Motion to approve the minutes from the business meeting of December 17th, 2018. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Hearing none. Motion to approve the minutes from the January 22nd committee meeting of the whole. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? All right, student representatives, Ms. Samalou, you're up first.
Yes, this weekend the track team went to New York and we were able to compete at Ocean Breeze, where we did very successfully. The girls came second overall in the 4x400 meter relay and 4x2, and the boys did really well. So today what I want to present to the board and talk to the audience about is college visits. Because as I found in the school, only 2 groups, college possible and good support, are able to go on college visits. So I took a poll on my class of 300 plus students, and I received about 175 responses. I asked them what are the top 5 universities that they were interested in visiting. The top 5 are Temple University, Drexel University, Westchester, Penn State, and Villanova. So by compiling this data, I divided the 300 plus students by the 5 universities and found that we would be able to accommodate 60 students per college, which would be about 2 buses. The visits are free, and I did my research and found that the schools can't accommodate the amount that was estimated. Now, moving on for this, the reason I really want to do this is because the goal for Penwood is for us to be college and career ready. So I believe that we don't learn and prepare for college solely in the confines of Penwood. So by taking the opportunity to go out to these universities and see what it really is, we'll see what we're striving for beyond these 4 years of high school. And a lot of students in this high school will not have the opportunity to really see a college campus for themselves and really see what it is to be in a rigorous college program. So I'm hoping that if the board approves this and we can go over this, that this can be a tradition for students. So looking to Temple University, when someone's applying, oh, Penwood, we know that this school took a college visit, and we're like, the representation. I apologize, I'm kind of tripping up on my words here. But this is the goal, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Samalou. Westchester, Drexel, Penn State, and the other one?
Villanova.
Villanova. Great. Can we get costs on this? Yeah.
Now, you know I'm a proponent of HBCU schools, so it would be great if we add HBCU schools to this college visit, because if you look at North Carolina A&T, it's on record, produces more engineers than any university in the country. Also, The university and HBCU schools also produce more students in the medical field than any university that you just mentioned.
Okay.
So it would be great to include HBCU schools.
I agree, but one of the things where I was coming in for in the poll was to get kind of local schools to kind of cut off the cost of busing. So I was using that like these locally were kind of easier than most HBCUs are the most popular really far from here. So it'd just be really hard to.
But I understand that, but if we take that kind of strategy, then HBCU schools will no longer continue to survive.
One comment that I just want to make, I'm really glad that you focused on locals. Lately, I don't know if you've been looking, but a lot of the income and population that you see in these certain schools are not local. I think it's very important that we understand that our kids are fighting a global fight to get into schools. Now you have a lot of kids applying applications here in the US, but you're also going against a lot of people that are internationally. So the fight is no longer just in the tri-state area. And I think that a lot of these schools have been working with trying to get more kids that are local and making it a choice. Like for instance, Temple, if you've been there lately, it has changed their campus tremendously. So I'm really glad that you have picked these things, and moving forward, I hope that we can work to get this done.
Great, thank you, Ms. Hamilton.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I would give a shout out to our mock trial team. We had a tournament this weekend, and both of our teams did really, really well. And whenever Penwood has a chance to go out and compete against other schools who have more resources or better allocations, it's always great for us to be able to go toe-to-toe with them and prove that Penwood is so much more than just our reputation and what that deems us to be. So it was a great experience for our entire team, and I believe that we learned a lot of important skills like our potential and leadership skills and confidence.
Great, mock trial and all. Ms. Town.
Good evening. Cypress Student Council has decided to host a Valentine's Day dance, which will be a great opportunity to have a good time and learn new people. This dance will be during the day, which will allow kids to relax and enjoy the rest of their day and weekend following.
Great, thank you. What day is it?
Valentine's Day.
Okay, and what time? What time?
I believe 12:15 to 3 o'clock.
Okay,
so
great.
that they can get on the late bus afterwards.
Great, thank you. Special awards is School Directors Month, and Mr. Conley's going to read the citation.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of our superintendent, Ms. Harbert, I'd like to read this recognition notice, which is on our agenda. Special awards are being presented this evening to the William Penn School District Board of School Directors in observance of School Director Recognition Month. School board members encounter many complex and difficult challenges as they strive to ensure continuous improvement in student learning and fiscal responsibility. School Director Recognition Month was instituted by the Pennsylvania School Boards Association to designate a time to show appreciation to local school board members who volunteer hundreds of hours each year and collaborate in order to provide a better future for our children. In recognition of dedicated service to the William Penn School District, we pay tribute to the William Penn School District Board of School Directors. Ms. Jennifer Hoff, President. Mr. Robert E. Wright, Sr., Vice President. School Board members, Ms. Monique Boykins, Mrs. Marion Fitty, Mr. Kevin Hobbs, Mrs. Janice Quayle, Ms. Rebecca Phillips, Ms. Joy Hopkins, and Mrs. Luella Richardson. I'd also like to recognize the time and outstanding work done by our 3 student board representatives we just heard from, Ms. Caitlin Ton, Lo Samalo, and Ms. Nashiri Stewart. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Conley. Now, public comments regarding agenda items. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sophia Lewis. I live in Yaden, Pennsylvania, here representing as a Temple University graduate. I have 2 things. Walter Rodriguez coming to the high school, I think that's an amazing and a wonderfully competent decision that was made to have Mr. Rodriguez come to the high school. I'm so happy and very happy to see that. He's just competent, and I'm thankful for that. The next thing I had a question about is how do you, in new business what is the procedure to join the board? What would we have to do? What would people have to do?
So there will, after we accept Ms. Quayle's resignation, sadly, they will advertise the position, and then you just apply. The board interviews, and then the board picks. Okay? Yeah, it's an appointment. So it's actually an appointment from February 25th, assuming we have applicants, to December 2nd. That, may I finish? May I finish? I'm sorry. Immediately, because this is a really important distinction, it doesn't happen like this often. Immediately, that person must apply, get nomination petitions for the May primary. So they may, and hopefully if they get through that primary, they would be on the ballot in November, and then, because they would have to run for that position in May. But they'll fill it till December, but if they want to work past December, they must immediately get their information in to run in May at the primary. I'm sorry, now your question.
Oh, no problem at all. I just want to see about the nominations. Okay, that's fine. You answered it. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, so you need to, this position is they're all very specific. And I don't want to quote the wrong precincts. So it's Region 6, which is in Lansdowne precincts 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and if you have any names that you want to look up, you may just send them to me and I would happily look them up. Roads are divided in half, literally. I live in 5, my across the street neighbor lives in 4. Okay, you may not work for the schools. You can quit.
One thing, Ms. Brown, to comment to that, in the alumni group on Facebook, I will post, I actually have been posting, I asked some of the alum who still lives in the Lansdowne area. I didn't just want to put that information out there, but what I will do is show the map and the information that we were provided as a board, so alumni can also look into this that may still be around. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a complicated appoint and run within 2 weeks. Any other questions on agenda items? Seeing none. Any communications, Mr. Kopp?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Community relations agenda. Black History Month proclamation. I will read this. Whereas in the year 1926, Mr. Carter G. Woodson, Black historian and founder of the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History in American Life, proposed Black History Week. And whereas Black History Month was established in 1976, is sponsored by the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, and is observed the entire month of February. The Association for the Study of African American Life has selected the 2019 Black History theme as Black Migrations. The theme emphasizes the movement of people of African descent to new destinations and subsequently to new social realities. The theme focuses especially on the 20th century through the present, beginning with the early decades of the 20th century. And whereas, in order to carry on the tradition Mr. Woodson began, Black History Month is observed to inform and educate about the history of African American men and women and the contributions they have made to American life and culture. Special programs and activities in the schools of the William Penn School District will commemorate the study of African American life and history. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of School Board Directors of the William Penn School District hereby proclaims the month of February as Black History Month for the year 2019. Resolved this 28th day of January 2019. And we will vote on that right after I get through the rest of the agenda. Informational kindergarten pre-registration for the 2019-20 school year. Back to what I said before, March is great, August not so much fun. So please do, the requirements are right on this piece of paper and at our website underneath the registration tab. A3, William Penn School District listening sessions continue. Next one, East Lansdowne, February 4th at East Lansdowne Elementary School. Anyone from any community is welcome to attend. Penn High School curriculum and course selection night. I can't believe it's time already. Wednesday, February 6th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at Penn High School Cypress Street campus. That is a parent and student event. Please attend if you can. A5 to Ardmore Avenue Elementary students to perform in the PMEA Band Fest. Congratulations to Mr. Ricketts, Samuel Christensen, and Jade Houston on being invited to this event. I look forward to pictures. This is the best of the best. They picked 2 children from every district and for 5th and 6th grade. So congratulations to them and their families. Penwood FBLA competes in regional conference. Just like our mock trial team, we are equally impressed with our future business leaders of America. Congratulations to Miles Richardson, Chelsea Lombard, Jafia Bordley, and Jediah Antway, Nashari Stewart, our own, and Charlene Kenny will be going to the state conference as the outgoing regional president. So congratulations to you all. Penwood High School presents Rent, February 7th, 8th, and Saturday the 9th, 2 shows at 3 and 7 p.m. Don't miss this opportunity to see our students involved in the arts and culture. Penwood Art Students Works accepted at Tyler School of Art. Again, amazing opportunity for students, and congratulations to, I'm going to mess up Miss Igabola's first name, so I won't, and Nicholas Moore. It's a very prestigious, it's a college art show. It's a very prestigious thing for our students to be recognized. Penwood's art students displayed at the high school exhibit at DCC. Congratulations to Martha Elatis, Esha Henry, Avery Carmo, Melvin Key, Michael Ranger, Taylor Tinnen, Jason Tito, and Maya Williams, and to their teachers, Miss Lord and Miss Grunt. So again, if you're at Tyler, you can see our art students. If you're at DCC, you can see our art students. Stop by. Congratulations to John Mayman and Ashley Travadino on being the January Rotary Students of the Month. Again, I cannot gush enough about those 2 students. A11, Markham College's Dental Center offering free sealant day on February 18th. Please call and make reservations. Its appointments are available at 9, 10:30, and 1. Space is limited, so please call right away. As I spoke about in my board report, Delaware County Unites for Education, PA Schoolworks, and the DCIU are making this training available. You can hear stories on how funding affects students across the county, learn how to take action in real time and to approach your local legislators to advocate for the needs of our students, and connect on social media and grow your networks and influence stakeholders in your community. We need this. Please attend if you can. If you need a ride, let me know. I am going. So please go if you can. I encourage my fellow school board directors to be present for that also. A13, Child Guidance Resource Center is offering a 14-session Strengthening Families program for families and with children ages 6 to 11. We all know that raising children is very, very challenging. Don't be shy. Children and parents can participate in this life skills training program to improve parenting skills and family relationships, reduce behavior problems, address delinquency, substance abuse, social skills, and improve school performance. The program begins March 7th, and it's held on Thursdays at 5:30. They feed you dinner every night, so there's a free meal, and childcare is available for siblings at that event also. If you need more information, please contact Child Guidance Resource Center. And that is all. May I have any questions from the board? May I make a motion to approve A1, the Black History Month proclamation?
So moved.
All those in favor? Second, I'm sorry. Second, all those in favor? Anyone against? Thank you. Whew. All right. Ms. Boykins, Education Committee, please.
B1, homebound instruction. B2, elementary band students trip to Trenton Thunder at Arm&Hammer Park. B3, Walnut Street Elementary School kindergarten students trip to Garden State Discovery Museum in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And B4, Penwood High School Green Avenue campus, 12th grade students trip to Main Event Entertainment in Newark, Delaware. One thing just want to make emphasis, it was in the community relations, was the course curriculum night. Just want to make emphasis that parents, it's very important for you to take the time to attend with your child for course curriculum night. A lot of times we have questions about graduation and certain classes that other schools might have compared to ours. So I would just urge you to definitely take advantage of that and come on out to course selection night for the 8th graders.
Thank you, Ms. Boykins. May I have a second?
Second.
Any questions from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Thank you, Ms. Boykins. Personnel, Mr. Wright, please.
C1, retirement. C2, resignation, professional staff. C3, termination of service support staff. C4, appointment of administrative staff. Mr. Rodriguez, acting principal of high school, effective February 7th through May the 8th. Mr. Rodriguez's rate of pay will be $450, replacing Ms. Judy Lee, absent. The date or subject to change in accordance with Dr. Lee's leave schedule. B4, professional staff appointments. And I would like to just highlight several that is in compliance with what we've been trying to accomplish with our minority diversity, hire more educators of color. So as a matter of fact, we have one person here today who's a Cheney University graduate. Stand up, please.
And to add to Mr. Wright's joy, on support staff, Ryan Glover, school safety officer, is also an alumni of Penn. Any questions? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Support staff, these supplemental contract 2018 to 2019. Mentor 2018 to 2019. Special education extra IEP work, $25 an hour. G, positive behavior support workshop, $25 an hour. H, Walnut Street Elementary School Student Program Title I Fund, coordinator, $40 an hour. Teachers, $30 an hour. Instructional assistant, $15 an hour. Park Lane Elementary School Leadership Team Meeting, $25 an hour. School Intervention Grant. C5, leave an absent, 1 through 7. C, continued personnel additional to the agenda. C6, retirement professional staff. Darlene Jones, kindergarten teacher, Armwood Avenue Elementary School, effective June 17, 2019. Ms. Jones has been with the district since September 3, 1998. C7, resignation administrative staff. C8, appointment professional staff. B, support staff, 1, 2, 3, and 4, supplemental contract. C, D, special education extra IEP work, $25 an hour. C9, changes in assignment. 1 and 2, that could include personnel report.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. May I have a second? Thank you. Any questions?
Oh, I just want to say, hold on 1 second. C7, Kev, where you at? Chewy? Is he not here? So I just, I just wanted to say, thank you very much for the services that he has provided, to our school. Even when I was coaching here, he just was always positive in helping our kids, even on the football field when he helped. But just, him leaving definitely is, we're going to be losing a great person that has helped the district in many ways. But I just wanted to, wish him farewell and just tell him thank you for all that he's done with our youth and then also the community as well. So we're going to miss him.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I questioned earlier in regards to professional staff retirements. I also questioned designations. On page 14, support staff. C4, number 1, Walter Rodriguez. I wish him well. He'll do very well over there, and I wish Dr. Lee back soon. Also, a leave of absence, I had questions for an exit letter. C6 and C7, I think Kevin left for the night. Kevin DePaul left. I want to wish him well. Like Monique said, he was very approachable, very good as a security guard when he started here. Every time we called him when I went into buildings, he was there very helpful. Busing, he was there. And I hope he can find a qualified person such as him to replace him. That ends that.
Anyone
Thank you.
else? I have a second.
Yes.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Okay, Mr. Hobbs, property please?
Just one thing, D1, we want to put before the board a contract with Montgomery Educational Consultants. We're looking at student populations and redistribute boundary lines to make it better for the school district.
May I have a second, please?
I think people can't hear.
Okay, so, can you repeat that?
It was one item under the property committee agenda. We wanted to put before the board the contract with Montgomery Education Consultants. They're looking at student population, projected student population, and moving boundary lines to make it more equitable for the schools. So we don't have one school busting at the seams and 10 people at another school.
Great. May I have a second?
Second.
Any questions from the board? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Thank you. Ms. Richardson, budget and finance, please?
Budget and finance, E1 is your treasurer's report. E2, your list of bills. E3 was the audit report for the year ending June 30, 2018. And it was completed on November 2nd, 2018. So your audit report.
Great. And as soon as we approve this, the audit will be on our website tomorrow. I'm sorry, may I have a second, please?
Second.
Any questions from the board? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Okay, board members, please, you must say aye or nay. Or we're gonna have to start raising our hands.
I'll go like
Okay.
this.
Aye.
Okay, Ms. Fitty, policy, please?
Policy, second reading of reverse policy of 233.
Okay, may I have a second, please? Any questions from the Board of School Board Directors on this policy? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Okay, thank you. Okay, solicitor's report?
Yes, we,
New business?
well, new business is actually related.
Yeah.
Um,
See, I got that one.
The board had an executive session on January 3rd to talk about a personnel issue, specifically the superintendent position. There was an executive session this evening between the pre-session and this meeting to discuss potential litigation, 3 different potential litigations and a personnel matter. There will be an additional executive session at the close of the meeting tonight to talk about a different personnel matter and a different potential litigation matter.
Thank you.
Another meeting?
Yes. Any old business, Mr. Cuff?
No, ma'am.
New business. It is with sadness that we accept the resignation of Janice Quayle from the Board of School Board Directors. Ms. Quayle is moving to Oregon, and we wish her well. It's a fantastic opportunity for her and her family, and that doesn't make us feel better. Motion is to accept the resignation of school board member Janice Quayle effective February 25th, 2019.
Second.
Any questions from the Board of School Board Directors? Hearing none, all those in favor? Anyone against? Janice, it's been, yeah, it's been a pleasure. You've taught me a bunch, and I'm super appreciative.
Just think, you just gotta get and sit next to me.
I know. Who could pass out that opportunity? All right. Mr. Wright, a report from Delaware County Community College.
Yes, I'll make it brief. At our last Delaware County Community College, we talked about one, and I'm passing around, dual admission. If you get a copy, you can see that Delaware County Community College, one of the leaders in dual admission that can lead to, although I'm a champion supporting HBCU schools, I'm also very supportive of supporting Delaware County Community College because the key factor is affordability no matter what university that you attend. And Delaware County Community College has an articulation agreement with guaranteed admission to Albright, all the way up to Williams University, and I'm very proud that we also have an articulation agreement with Cheney University, which is moving forward. And when you look at this, if you have a certain GPA, that you can receive some form of scholarship along with the admission. So I always encourage Delaware County Community College as well as HBCU schools and the other leading university, which is included. Anyone who would like to have additional copies, can let me know, and I can ask them to send me another order because I think it's something that they do plan to come here in the near future to meet with our high school students and counselors in regard to this. The other area that we are most proud of that the William Penn School District as well as Interborough School District, we are the leaders in high-tech manufacturing. This is the way of the future. This is the way that students who participate in the certificate program for 1 year can receive a minimum salary of $45,000. And also, if they want to continue their education with Drexel University, which is one of the best engineering programs in the country, they will be accepted. And Drexel University also is housed at Delaware County Community College, where you don't have to travel. So our next meeting, we will be able to attend to see how high-tech manufacturing, and for the last 3 years, and hopefully they will work with me this year, that we will have a tour to high-tech manufacturing plants that you can see that we provide, but this is what we need to do in the future, look at alternatives. Yes, we're about career ready in college, but we're also about career ready, prepared for the workforce, and high-tech manufacturing is one of the ways to provide. And I will have additional information in regards to Delaware County Community College is looking to purchase some land with Monsignor Bonner and Pinterest to maybe have housing that will be closer to us. So hopefully I will have that. They're going to put a proposal to do that. Yeah, so that will conclude my report.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Ms. Pam, can we get a PDF of this and put it on our website for our community?
Yes.
It's pretty cool stuff. Ms. Finney, Delaware County Intermediate Unit.
And did you see on the board, there was something earlier about VCIU? Right now, they're trying to finish up Ashton OPEC, which is becoming some issues. Fallcroft, they have some issues they're to deal with. I want to thank the culinary school that comes and does our dinner there. I would like some public to start showing up at the DCIU meetings and learning what we can do for your children. We meet every first and second Wednesday of the month. The meetings start at 7 and they can end at 8, maybe a little longer depending if you have public. When I go to these meetings, there's nobody there. And it's sad because they can offer you so much for your children in regards to learning, speech, what have you. And they're really building Ashton Tech up where there's going to be robotics and all kinds of things. So if you can kindly show up and attend, I would so much appreciate it. So you would see on hand what they have to offer your children. And thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fitty. Delaware County Legislative Council is now under the leadership of Larry Feinberg and Amy Goldman. The meeting rate is up. More schools are showing up. We've divided Delaware County, and we're all talking to each other. Please attend the event on Saturday if you can. We need to speak for ourselves because other people are not speaking for us. And so if you can attend on Saturday, you'll learn a lot, and that would be awesome. So thank you. Now, comments from citizens regarding non-agenda items. Anyone? Okay, we'll start with Mr. Durham.
Okay. First thing, according to your policy, board policy, that questions will be answered within a 1-week time frame. Because we had the break, I gave you guys a few weeks, and I still have not received answers to my question. So I'm unsure as to how we can invoke the 3-minute speaking policy if we don't invoke the 1-week time frame for answering questions. I asked questions about AIMSWAB only because it made our teachers liable. If you do not have accurate and daily progress monitoring, then any lawyer can reach back within 3 years, sue the school district. Once they find something within those 3 years, can keep going back. But because we have yet to enforce AIMSWAB, because we don't have color printers, because we don't understand that kindergarten and first grade students require the colored scoring sheets, it hasn't been done. You were told differently, but it hasn't been done. You can check with any of your teachers. The next thing we were talking about is placement at the middle school. I speak for the middle school. I told them that the board is very, you guys take ideas and everything. Currently at the middle school, we do not have 6th level and 2nd level SFA, which means that every kid in the middle school is either doing 8th grade SFA or 5th grade SFA. So either they're on grade level or 3 grade levels behind. We've had several students that have been put in this 5th grade level SFA, AKA System 44, 400 Lexile and below, whereas though they have 1100 Lexiles, and they have not received the correct data for that. So remember, we're missing 6th and 7th level SFA in the middle school. The next thing is discipline in the middle school, but once again, I speak for the middle school. We had a pregnant teacher that was assaulted. We had a math teacher that was assaulted. Student assaulted them, received ISS. Whereas though we had an honor roll student who accidentally ran into a teacher and received 10 days out of school. So that's a big discrepancy right there. You run into a teacher 10 days out of school, but you assault a pregnant teacher and another female teacher, and you only received in school. The next thing, and I want to give props actually to Miss Jen Hoff because she reached out to Miss Tax in regards to her room. And the thing that Miss Tax had an issue for and she couldn't make the night was that not because even it was minor things. Things were still in order, confidential materials were still in order. But the issue is that for the last 3 days, Miss Tax has been having bed bug issues in her room. And because that was not expressed to you, those codathon kids were exposed to those bed bugs. That room was supposed to be fumigated or whatever you call it for the bed bugs, but because there was a lack of communication, those kids in the code-a-thon were exposed to those bed bugs. So Ms. Tax wanted, what she wanted to know if there's a policy in place, and I see Mr. Cuff holding up 30-second sign, but once again, we didn't answer questions within 1 week's time frame, which is your policy, and you had a teacher last week that spoke for 7.5 minutes. So are we going to stick to the board policy, or is it arbitrary? That's another thing. I know people can't answer or whatever, but there needs to be a consistency, because once again, I gave you guys 3 weeks and no one ever answered. And for my final note, I just want to say that coming up in this district, I had a few mentors, and one of the great mentors and positive influences, and someone that always pulled me to the side and kept me straight, was Dr. Dawn A. Watson Bowie. I love her to death. I thank her for everything that I have garnered in my tenure here. And that is it. But just wanted to know about the bed bug policy, because we have a policy for lice, but like that's outdated. But we need to do something to the bed bugs, because those kids were potentially exposed to bed bugs. They take it back to the high school or take it back to their kids or whatever. Not saying they have them, but the fact of the matter is, Ms. Hawk, you didn't know that room was supposed to be exterminated, but someone should have told you. And that's the issue that Ms. Tax has. And also the discipline, because we can't have teachers, let alone pregnant teachers, being punched in a student receiving in-school suspension. What is that? Whereas the student that bumped into a teacher out of school. And I'm just waiting on that Ames Web report, because your Ames Web licenses rolled over to next year. When they roll over, that means they weren't used. So how can your teachers do progress monitoring without the Ames Web program? Therefore, all those teachers should receive distinguished on their evaluations, because their supervisor, whoever that is, lacked the expertise and skill set to provide them with what they needed, whoever he or she may be.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What's up?
Okay, who's next? I'm sorry, I don't remember where the hands were.
Good evening.
Name and where you live.
Yep. Marie Louise Favor. I live in Lansdowne. Ms. Fitty, sorry, this is sort of out of. Can you post that the dates and the times for the DCIU meetings?
Yes.
Like on the website or like on the Facebook. Can we do that on the
I
school
don't
district?
Facebook, but I'll have the
But yeah, I think if it's out there, then I'll share it on our school site. So my question is about classroom size. So I have 2 children at Ardmore Avenue. The sizes and the amount of students they're just coming through the doors even now, especially our kindergarten and first grade. That's my biggest concern, because those kids still need hand-holding. They're still babies. They shouldn't have 30 students for one teacher. That's just insane. Like, there's just no learning going on when one kid has a problem and needs some snuggles, or whatever it is. They're little kids, and so what can we put into place that doesn't happen next year? That the teachers get more support too. It's not fair to the teacher. I know Ms. Griffith has said, like, she tried to get her kids down on the rug as often as possible, because they can't sit in their seats either. That's the other problem. So they're like confined to this little tiny room, and she tries to move them around. She does a wonderful job, but again, there's just like the rug isn't big enough to hold 30 kids. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll pass that question on. I'm sorry, next? This one.
So Janella Miller, Lansdowne. So I had several questions and concerns that I wanted to put out to one of them being the high school. Dr. Lee is going on maternity leave. I will urge the group to maybe look for a permanent replacement for Dr. Lee. I mean, it's come up in the past, and again, I bring it up again. The instruction has to start from the top in order to work its way down to the administrative staff as well as to the teachers. Dr. Lee is very brutal towards my daughter. I can specifically say my daughter has said that she specifically calls her out for things that are inappropriate, that she's not doing inappropriately. And I constantly, listen to Dr. Lee rant and rave to me on the phone about stuff that is nominal and does not require the punishment that she receives. I am by far annoyed, and I try to remain diplomatic when dealing with, principals and teachers and that sort, with the district and at the schools. However, it is unbearable. It is beyond unbearable to hear that your child is being suspended for wearing an off-the-shoulder shirt and she has a hoodie in her bag. Why was she suspended for this? Because Dr. Lee does not receive any reprimand for the things that she's saying due to our children, and I think this needs to stop. I have mentioned this in the past about the way she pulled my older daughter to the side and told her her skirt was too short. Meanwhile, Dr. Lee's skirt was just barely past her butt. I just want to say, if we're going to enforce things to our children, we have to provide the representation in our staff. So honestly, I'm not, I'm just a person. I'm just a parent trying to raise my children, and I think it's inappropriate to allow these people to abuse our children. When we teach our children that they can be abused, they grow up and be abusers.
That's right.
So honestly, I think we need to stop the charade. She is not a good fit for our district.
Never.
We've been over and over this in the past, and I'm tired of constantly saying it. I brought the staff and you guys as the board different examples several times. I know y'all in these buildings. I know y'all hear how she speaks to the students. I know y'all hear how she single out certain people. And I know this happens several times over and over. There are people right now in this audience that have abused my daughter. I won't say names, but y'all know who y'all are. And it's not appropriate for us to continue to allow these people to do a service that's an disservice to our children. We know what these people are doing. I charge you, Jen. Your children came through the district, and like I told you when I came here, your children got a different treatment than my children. And it's simply because I'm black and you're white.
Boom.
And let's not play games about it.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been here over and over and over again. And I'm tired of having the same conversation. I do not like my children mistreated. I do not like to see other children mistreated. And honestly, it starts with you guys. You need to do something about it. It's inappropriate. My daughter was suspended the last day of school because a teacher lied and said that she forged her signature. And the teacher was not reprimanded. And this is every school year. I have a different example of how my daughter is mistreated. I go to bat for the school board. I do whatever I have to do for my community. I'm tired. My community and my school board need to do something for me and my children as well. It's not a give. It's quid pro quo. It works both ways. And I have said time and time again, I'm tired of my children being mistreated. And I need you guys to do something about it.
Cultural competence.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
Period.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, sorry, Darren.
Darren Burrell, Darby Burrell. It's just to piggyback off of Mrs. Miller had mentioned is your administration is sitting here videotaping us on the side. That's very uncomfortable because it's very uncomfortable because it feels as though she's like every little thing that you don't. It's just uncomfortable when your administration is doing that. That is all.
Okay. Anyone else to speak? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I'm a grandmother. My granddaughter goes to Parkland. Oh, I'm sorry, Dolores Brown. Dolores Keeper.
Thank you.
My granddaughter goes to Park Lane, and the incident with the guy with the gun that was allowed in the school. Are you guys familiar with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that wasn't brought up by any of you. We were told to come here so that this could be discussed and addressed. We were thinking that the superintendent would be here, but she's a no-show. I don't know why.
She had a death in her family this morning, ma'am.
Okay, then I'm sorry.
That's
But
right.
again, we didn't know that.
I announced it in the beginning of the meeting.
Missed that, okay. Anyway, We were told to come here because it would be talked about. We would hear some kind of resolution of what's going on. We would hear whether the principal was keeping her job. We would talk about this situation because, again, our children were jeopardized, put in jeopardy. And, so we're here, and we still don't hear anything. So I'd like to hear something from you people.
Right, so, Park Lane, well, we're happy to talk about it, and we can talk about that. It's not an agenda item because there's no actionable items right now.
I'm sorry, you gotta say it.
There are no voting actionable items right now. We have an architect looking at the building for changes. Those results are not back yet. And we're getting a second opinion on that also. I'm sorry. We are not free to discuss personnel issues at this time. As far as changes to protocols, Dr. Bruno, can you talk about them at all in Ms. Harvard's absence?
Okay, there have been meetings involving Chief Smythe from the Darby Police Department with our supervisor of school safety, Mr. Simmons, and they're putting together some new protocols.
Can you stand up and address us?
I'm sorry.
We're kind of like behind you. Oh,
Okay. There have been meetings held that involve Darby Police Chief, our supervisor of school safety. They are school security officers, and they are revamping some of the protocols that are used at all the schools. I know they're looking at relocating some of the buzzers and adding an additional layer of security to some of the schools by making a double entrance. Okay, and that's all being handled at this time. It's being investigated, it's being processed.
and how long does all of that take?
I don't have the answer to that. Mr. Tuft is the business manager. He may be able to answer that.
And you said you can't talk about personnel issues. So how do the families and parents?
Right, because y'all had us come here. This is the third meeting since January 4th.
Because it seems like it's kind of being
Pushed
shoved under the rug. I mean, we were showing a videotape of the guy walking into school as if that was okay.
Ma'am, we have not even received Darby the police report from the incident yet.
It's there.
Yes, it is.
Well, we've asked for it.
January 4th.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, we've asked for it repeatedly. I will have our security.
You are making this up as
If
you go along. Don't make this up as you go along.
Jared,
if I may, I would definitely, if you're saying that you reached out, I would definitely get back to Darby Borough and
we will
see if
do
we can get a
that.
copy of that.
We
for
will
you
do
as soon
that.
as possible.
We will do that. Okay, so when we have all the pieces to the puzzle, we will make more decisions regarding those situations.
I have another issue at Park Lane School.
Ma'am, your name and where you live?
My name is Renee. I'm Madison Styles' mom. She's in second grade. She goes to Park Lane. It's okay. It's all right. I'm okay with that. I just want y'all to know the other day, when it rains at Park Lane, when it rains and floods, I almost fell. Me and my daughter, right by that pole where I showed you at. It floods, it's mud, it's leaves. I almost fell going to pick up my daughter from after school program. I had to physically pick my daughter up and strap her on me so we can get back to the car. We're not allowed to use the doors on the side for whatever reason, where there's no mud, water, flood. But we have to walk through piles of water and mud to pick up our kids every day when it rains and it snows. Unacceptable. Because if I fall, I'm suing. And I almost fell the other day. I had mud all over my boots. If I fall, I'm suing the brakes and it's going to be called Renee Lane. I promise you that.
Okay, thank you.
No, because I'm just over it. All of this is nonsense.
Good evening, I'm Shay Burrell, Darby Borough. I'm assuming the email that I sent to the board addressing the school safety on January 4th, is that still, I know you guys responded back saying that you would answer the questions that I had in that email, so is that still part of that investigation?
I don't recall your email
Right,
specifically,
it's not
but
wow.
Wow.
Y'all don't recall anything.
I'm just speaking for myself.
You were at the meetings. I was there. You were there.
Ms. Burrell, I will look into that tomorrow.
Okay, so I know you and a couple other board members did respond to the email stating that, as well as Jane, the superintendent, stating that my answers, my questions would be answered. So I guess I'm assuming that that would be what that investigation is referring to?
As I said, I don't recall your specific email.
Okay. Would you like me to resend the email?
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This is shameful.
Very shameful.
Very shameful.
But on a
Because
good note,
our
Park Lane's
children were in
after-school
jeopardy.
program is the bomb.
And it's like, it's okay, or it wasn't as serious, or it's not as
Yeah,
important.
I'm sorry, but nobody feels that way.
No, I'm gonna step outside because I'm getting a little angry.
Yes.
But it sure seems like.
Miss
it sure
One
seems
second, can I
like it.
say something before you leave?
I'm not leaving, I'm just going out here.
Oh, okay. So, let me just take a step back, okay? What you are looking for is what corrective actions have been set in place since this issue has occurred.
And for someone to take responsibility.
Yes.
I mean, these people had a hard time saying, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And when they did, it was like, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. No.
Okay, so with that being said, when the incident occurred, immediately what came out was what security measures that we need to take in place. What, as far as, did we follow protocol? Those were things that were questioned. Did we follow protocol? Another thing that we're also dealing with is that our principal was called out. Our principal was called out before any information was even thoroughly investigated. If you know that we seen the film on Tuesday, okay, and according to the film and the information that everyone has seen in the public, it does not correlate. What we seen on the film and what was stated is not accurate. So what I want to do is I just want to explain some things.
According to the film, he had a gun on him when he walked
Yes,
into
can
the
I
school.
explain? Yes, can I understand what you're saying. I just would like to explain some things because I understand that you come here to find out what corrective actions have put in place, and I understand you are upset, and I do understand something critical has happened. I just want to take a step back to address everyone with what's going on. First thing is that when we seen in the tape as board of directors, it was said that the gentleman was not wearing a shirt. What we seen the film, the gentleman had a shirt on. Someone had buzzed him in, which was the security guard or someone who was handling the desk at that time, did buzz him in. When he was buzzed in, they asked the proper questions. You will see this gentleman on film. Now, if I'm a teacher, I'm looking, he didn't look like he had anything on him. He was standing there asking, hey, did you see my bag? Now, on the film, someone approaches him and says, 1 second, let's find out where your bag is. He then takes a seat. He takes a seat and then he starts playing on his phone. He's looking down, he's waiting patiently, and then the next thing that you see is that hold on, 1 second, excuse, 1 second, ma'am, can I just respond?
We're not gonna go back.
So the reason why I'm responding, ma'am, the only reason why I'm okay, so I just want to say something. Respect is one thing, and when you're speaking, I respected you. I heard everything you had to say, and I was quiet, and I didn't overtalk you. And I'm just asking for the same consideration, and you can respond in any manner that you would like. But what I'm trying to explain is what the board is dealing with compared to what was said on the news. There is a discrepancy. There is a difference. Okay, and all I wanted to explain is that the way it was identified in the news, it was not the same thing of what we've seen. Once the gentleman was sitting down playing on his phone, the principal comes out and explains to him that we had not found anything. He then leaves. Now, when he gets up, you do see in the right side of his pocket, you see a bulge. It doesn't appear that anyone is threatened or anything of that nature. Then the gentleman leaves the premises. After he left the premises, that's when the gun was discovered with the police. The one thing I asked in email, ma'am, was I asked, what are the security measures that need to take place? Did we follow protocol? Did our principal and our staff follow protocol? So what we did was we took a step back to make sure procedures were followed. Once we looked at that, then we said, what other security measures need to be added on? Corrective measures and preventative measures. Right now, Jane is working with people with regard to security. Earlier today, we had an executive session on trying to figure out what we need to do with our security with adding more people. One thing that was discussed was trying to figure out our pay rates and things of that nature, because you know that when you pay more, you'll get more quality work. We're not saying that we're not saying that a single person did anything wrong. What we're trying to do is make a better school system with regard to security. That is what has come out from this so far. From that time being, our principal was posted up and broadcasted on national TV. And it was said that she did not follow protocol. That is not exactly the case. And I understand today you've come here because you were told to come here to get answers. And these are the answers that we have for you at this time. I do understand that you may want something a little more straightforward. We will make sure that we can give you more things straightforward. But one thing I can assure you, that there is a plan in place to make our William Penn School District more secure, not just at our elementary, but overall. Did we learn from this event? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I'm not going to sit here and say that everything was to the T. We did learn from this event. Is it something that we wanted to happen? No. But all we can do is learn and put the preventative measures in place to make sure that your children are safe at all times. So that is the information that we have for you today. And Dr. Bowie, I am sorry for what you have went through. I really am, and I want to apologize to you because that was not a William Penn School District move to have you on TV in that way. And I would like to apologize from the district on that behalf. But that is what we have right now as far as the information with regard to the corrective actions and the preventative actions that we're trying to do to set in place to make sure that our children are safe.
Anyone else on non-agenda items, please? Yes, ma'am.
Jessica Geffen, my daughter goes to East Lansdowne, so I'm noticing that in order to cover the security issues at Park Lane, they're now taking security guards from other schools and putting them there, so there'll be 2 security guards there, but then that leaves other schools lacking. So, what's the resolution to that? Because my concern is, like, when I come to Park Lane and now I know my daughter's security is at Park Lane, who's at that school?
So if you look at today's agenda, we hired 3 SSOs this week, and we're trying to fill those holes. I completely understand what we're talking about, and we're trying to do the best we can. There'll be other measures. We did have a conversation about it in executive session, and we will be talking more about it.
So when do those people start, and when does the shifting stop?
You can look in the agenda and see when they start.
Okay.
I can make no comment regarding shifting at this meeting.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Mrs. Wright.
Hi, good evening. Sandy Brown Wright. And I would have made this comment under Section 11 with public comments regarding the agenda. However, this particular brochure was passed out after that. And I did want to make sure that I pointed out, first of all, I want to thank the William Penn School District for the partnership that you have with Delaware County Community College. And Mr. Wright, thank you for bringing these brochures here today, this evening. And Lo, as I was listening to you mention about the top 5 schools that the students themselves that selected, I was quite pleased that Drexel and Temple and Villanova, the College of Professional Studies, Westchester, are listed in the articulation agreement. So my question is, if Mr. Wright, Delaware County community colleges can make these brochures available for the students, if that takes place with the bus trips, that's a great idea. And they can either use them in preparation for going or when they return, because it clearly delineates the process, the criteria, some of the deadlines. So this would be a very valuable document to use with the trip. So I hope that more can be ordered for the students that go on the trip. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. My name is Yura Shanetta Commodore. I am an employee of Penwood High School, the attendance secretary, but I'm also a proud parent of Michaela Commodore, who goes to Park Lane, and Michael Commodore, who goes to Penwood High School. My question is upon the special education. I had an IEP meeting back in November. I asked for the curriculum information of the new reading program that's supposed to help our children, and my child is in special education. I've yet to receive that. So I don't know what their curriculum that they're doing, and my son is a senior. and he'll be graduating. And we're stuck. And I do understand the situation with his teacher. My heart goes out to her, I love her dearly. But I'm still waiting on my information. And can someone explain to me why I haven't received it? This is back in November.
Yeah, typically somebody from the IEP team follows up, and maybe Ms. Pickett didn't do that. I apologize. If you can email me specifically what you're looking for, I will make sure that it gets to you.
You were sitting there in the IEP meeting, and please, let's not throw Ms. Pickett under the bus. That's not fair. She's not here. And under the circumstances, that's very disrespectful. You were sitting there in the meeting, and I asked for the information, the curriculum specifics of the new reading program that's supposed to help our children who are having reading difficulties.
You can definitely get that to me.
So why haven't I gotten it? Since November, I do believe the 28th or 27th, 2018.
I was not aware you didn't get it, so I apologize. I will make sure you get it.
Okay.
Can we hear about the program, please?
Yeah, can you explain the program? Because I didn't get a full understanding myself. Can you explain the program?
It's a direct instruction reading program. It is recommended by PTAM, the Pennsylvania Technical Training Assistance Network. They use it for students who are older, who are struggling with reading. And it's a direct instruction program. It's called Reading Mastery. It has several levels. It has, we've been using it in the district for, I think at least 7 years, probably a little bit longer, but at least 7 years. And one of our elementary schools used it as an intervention for kids who weren't as successful in Success for All as we wanted them to be, students with IEPs, and it was very successful for them.
How long has the teachers been trained on this program who's using it now in high school, which was newly introduced to them this year?
They got the standard training this year.
So they're testing it along with testing it on their children.
They were trained like anybody would be trained. They were trained.
So we're testing it in the high school now.
I wouldn't call it testing.
So what would you call it? If you've had it in the district for 6 to 7 years in your elementary school, and now you're just bringing it into the high school, that's what you guys explained to me in the IEP.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Ms. Commodore, I would like to take this, the reading program for special education and put it on my agenda for February for the education meeting. And I would like you to come out so she can answer these questions, and so I can have more knowledge as far as with regard to our reading program and what we're supposed to expect out of it as well. But I think it would be good to have this at a special education meeting to discuss this.
So, why are you saying that?
But your information should still come to you as well.
But were you aware of this reading program?
Yes, I was aware of the reading program. Yes, I was.
What's the name of the program?
We have wings, from my understanding, what I was told. Okay, just let me take a step back. What I was told for our SFA, when we found out that it was not working in the way that it needed for our special education, we had picked up other reading programs. When I was talking to Jane, she explained that we had wings. This is something that she explained to us to be able to help. Now, if there is anything else that is different from that, I am not aware of that, and that's why I would like to table it to find out.
Very interesting.
Any other comments regarding public agenda items?
That's information.
Non-agenda items, I'm sorry, ma'am,
Yeah,
yes?
can I ask about the Title I program?
I can try to answer it, or I can direct you to Mr. McKay behind you. Yeah.
They're teaching our children through this Title I curriculum setup, and our children are really having a lot of trouble understanding it, and even the teachers can't really explain it that well, and even the principal, when she has her meetings, it's a lot of gibberish. Nobody can really understand what they're talking about. And the children, and I'm talking about my granddaughter, but I've heard it from other parents, come home and can't really explain what she's learned in that title. And let me give you an example. When in the math, when you're doing math problems where you have to borrow from one, they call it regrouping.
Okay.
And then when your kid tries to explain to you what regrouping is, it's not borrowing. It's whatever explanation they can figure out from what they're trying to be taught in school.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to make any sense, and it's almost like they're dumbing down our kids because they're having trouble with this Title I curriculum stuff. And I just don't understand what was wrong with 1 + 1 = 2.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
Yes.
So this is a education requirement.
Yeah. This is an education question about that program.
Right, so, and I think you're talking about math. So
Yeah,
you-
as an example.
Right, so if you could give Mr. McKay your information,
Mhm.
and so you guys can have a more in-depth conversation about this. I think we're misusing, it's not a Title I program, it's our math curriculum that you're asking about, which.
But it feeds into reading too, it feeds into.
Okay, so you and Mr. Yeah, if you guys could exchange information. Okay. Anyone else on non-agenda items, please? Okay, hearing none. There are a couple of meeting announcements. February 6th, it didn't make it to this, February 6th at 6:30, we will be having a superintendent search meeting in this room at 6:30. The next meeting is on Tuesday, February 19th, due to the, excuse me. February 6th.
Excuse me.
Wait.
Can everybody quiet down because
Ms. Boykins.
she's going through a very important date and I think everybody has not heard her. That February 6th date is
Okay.
important.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry. I've been suffering from a cold and was with our children all weekend. My voice is a little hoarse. The meeting is on Tuesday, February 19th at 6:30 in this room. That is our meeting of the whole. And then we will have a meeting Monday, February 25th at 6:30 pre-session and 7:30 session for our monthly meeting. And again, the superintendent search meeting is February 6th in this room at 6:30. We will be beginning our plan of how to go forward and look for a new superintendent.
Please, I just want to urge everybody, please come out to the February 6th meeting. I have to state that because the community, we're listening. You know, some things, if we think about, people were saying when we were doing our superintendent, when Jane was voted into this position, there were a lot of questions on how do we pick superintendents and does the community have a voice? These are meetings that we need you at. February 6th is very important.
Brian Wilson question.
I'm sorry, no.
No, February 6th, is there another date for that
Cool.
meeting?
Yeah,
Somebody's out of town.
Yeah, we will have continuous meetings that we will make public. This is a year and a half month,
You're making it seem like you don't make this one meeting, you can't money.
Of course
No,
not,
it's
Mr.
not
Moore.
like that. I'm just trying to get more
Please,
people to
please.
come out.
Wait.
You want me to say you follow up?
No. It's not. All right. May I have a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn. All those, yes, Mr.
Parents just handed me this set of keys. It was left on the lunchroom table.
Okay. All right, thank you. All those in favor of adjourning?
Thank you.
Against?
Thank you. I was going to give you my card as well.